Coach, how's it going? Good to go in a second here. Bob will shut it up.
Sounds good.
All right, cool.
Okay, media, we'll open up the press conference with just a second here for Coach. We'll open up today's post-game media conference with an opening statement from Coach Bruno, and then we'll bring in the student athletes, Lexi Held and Jorie Allen, and then Coach Bruno will return after that to take questions from the media. Coach?
I love the Big East because it's absolutely one of the most competitive conferences in the country, and teams like they prove why it's a great league and such a competitive league. And I don't like the result of today's game, but I do really love the Big East and what the Big East stands for and the strength of the teams in this league. And Coach Flannery and Creighton Blue Jays did a great job today. They were undermanned and still did a great job of just kicking our butt and earned the victory on the road court. And it's just we had to do a tough win at Creighton earlier in the season. And so that's basically they handed it to us. When you allow your team to shoot as freely as I let my team shoot, and that's part of my DNA as a coach. And when you allow your team to shoot freely, and you have nights where you don't make shots like we did tonight, and you don't defend, and you don't rebound, you're creating for yourself a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what we did. You know, we didn't defend, we didn't rebound, we got killed on the boards, we did not guard well in our traditional defenses, forced us to get into scramble plays because we were chasing, and it's just hard to chase a good team when you're down like that in a scramble mode, but we weren't making stops in a standard mode. So I don't feel like we had any alternative but to scramble the game the way we were defending or not defending in a more traditional way. So if I'm going to let my players shoot freely as I do, the price they must pay for that is defending and rebounding for the nights that they don't make shots. They are well aware of that, and they took it to us offensively. We couldn't make stops defensively. We did not rebound the ball. I think we got beat by 14 on the boards. So it was and that's a recipe. It's always going to be a recipe for disaster if you quick shoot and miss. Quick shoot and make and defend and don't rebound, you can still stay in the game. But when you quick shoot and not make shots and also don't defend and don't rebound, you're going to write the recipe of tonight's result. Again, Creighton's a really good basketball team. Coach Flannery does a great job. His team did a great job, and they deserve to get the victory on the scoreboard because they came in here, we're the tougher team and kicked our butt. With that, I'll let Bob introduce our players, and I really would like them all to have to be here today because it's easy to come in here and score a bunch of points and win games, but I almost like everybody to have to face the music when you don't finish a good tough game like today. But we do have two of our players here, Ellen and Lexi Held, I think, per Bob's request, or your media request, and I'll answer questions, and I'll be back to answer any questions. Thank you, Government Scoops. Really do appreciate you all for covering this basketball.
We've got Lexi Held here. Lexi finished with 17 points. She had a career-high 7 steals, which if you're tracking on her progress here, in the last 7 games, Lexi now has 33 steals, which if you can do the math, it's close to 5 steals a game. So she's on quite a roll defensively in that category. Let's begin questions of Lexi with Jim Niendorf from We Are DePaul.
Hi, Lexi. What do you take away from this heading into the Marquette game?
I think Coach just really have to be able to focus and lock in on defense and rebounding because that's what travels well. That's what can be a consistent factor in the game. That's one of the biggest takeaways.
Question from John Robleski of Global Traveler.
Hey, Lexi, after a game like this for the team, do you just try to put it out of your mind as soon as possible and just start focusing on the next game?
I personally don't. There's just a lot of stuff that we can learn from the team. So after what we need to do.
Thank you.
Ernesto Hernandez from the DePaul.
Was today's loss just a the ball not going in, or was it a credit to whatever Creighton was doing?
I think it's a combination of both. You know, they defended well, take care of what we needed to. So.
Jim Niendorf, do you have a follow-up question for Lexi?
I don't. I'm done. Thank you very much for your time.
John Robleski, do you have a follow-up question for Lexi?
All good, sir. Thank you, Lexi.
Ernesto, do you have a follow-up question for Lexi?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lexi. This is Jorie Allen. She finished today with 16 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and she's really provided a nice scoring touch and a lot of toughness inside. Let's begin the questioning of Jorie with Ernesto Hernandez from the DePaul.
Hi, Jorie. Does it ever get demoralizing when you guys are trying to make a comeback, only for Creighton to respond immediately after any sort of run you guys have?
I mean, you've got to get a lot of credit to Creighton. You know, like as Coach said, we got in that jump and run defense, and we had the greatest time in the score. It seemed like they went down and made another big play. So they can play today. You got to get.
John Robleski from Global Traveler.
Hi, Jorie. When the team has a game like this, do you try to put it out of your mind as soon as possible and start focusing on the next game?
Similar to what Lexi said, I think you got to look at what you did and what you can do in the future to help us, you know, come out of this as a better team. I think it's a combination of, you know, taking the time to really self-reflect, but then turning the page and moving on and not let this affect us in our game. We got to have a tough game against us.
Thank you.
Jim Niendorf from We Are DePaul.
Hi, Jorie. You had kind of a rough game there against Xavier. What kind of goes through your head from that game up until the beginning of this game? Forget maybe the outcome of this game, but what went through your head in terms of maybe playing better?
Every game has, you know, being on a team, I'm surrounded by so guards, so talented, and they're all scorers. So each game is a little different depending on, you know, what coach needs from me, what offense we're running, the shots that my team create for me. So I just try to approach every game being aggressive, but in my role.
Ernesto
Thank
Hernandez.
you.
Thanks, Jim. Ernesto Hernandez, do you have a follow-up question for Jorie?
No, I don't. Thank you.
John Robleski.
Volleyball just won.
Actually, I do have a quick one. Jorie, what is it like following in your family's footsteps playing at
I'm
DePaul?
listening to the presser and watching that, and so I'm just so happy. That's a great win. That's a great win.
What was the last
Yeah, huge. It's huge.
John Robleski, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just asking how does it feel to follow in your family's footsteps playing at DePaul?
You know, I have to approach it with great pride. I'm very close to my family, and my dad, he coached all throughout my career growing up. So for me to be out here in DePaul University, he's very proud of me, and that makes me proud of me too.
Thank you.
Jim Niendorf, have you got a follow-up question for Lexi? I mean, for Jorie, sorry.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay. I think there's no more questions from the media. Thank you, Jorie.
Thank you, Jorie.
Okay, round two with Coach Bruno. Let's begin with John Robleski from Global Traveler.
Coach, I heard that Jewel Lloyd is on your coaching staff. Could you talk a little bit about what she's doing on your staff?
And Jewel is finishing her undergraduate degree. And Jewel and I go back when she was a little young girl in pigtails, 4 or 5 years old. We see her dad was a great coach. Actually, her dad helped coach my son Patrick at Loyola Park. So I know the whole family a long time. And so we knew Jewel a long time. And Jewel left Notre Dame a year early to go play in the WNBA, part of a great Seattle sport program that just won the WNBA championship. And Jewel is finished because she left that year early for Notre Dame. It's just much more convenient for her to finish South Bend. So school at DePaul, called staff, some way she could be upset. So technically, we've got the most talented manager we've ever had at DePaul because technically that's what we have to call. But she is on the. She's like a coach. But at the same time, she has to be a manager. She has to be a manager, and being listed as a manager, she can occasionally actually get into the action and play against our team. That's something. It's something that once in a while you can do. The managers physically play basketball. Managers can't play basketball against the players. So it's one of the situations where in this year of COVID, where we don't have a men's practice team, it's pretty nice to have somebody that's a starter, a great player for the game, be able to be a manager that really, our managerial duties are just helping our players get better. So that's really what Bill's doing here for us right now. Just finishing.
Thank you.
Ernesto Hernandez from the DePaulia.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
No, I'm checking to see if Ernesto's got a question.
Yes, I do. Listening to the broadcast, I believe they mentioned that the last time that Creighton beat a ranked opponent was also DePaul. Is there anything in particular that they do that causes your team problems?
Well, it's just really, I don't believe that from year to year, each individual team, every year, I don't get Creighton's got our number, we have this number, because every season, Jorie or Lexi talk about teams that fight for their own, seasons that fight for their own. This is the same Creighton team we did beat back in December. So I don't know that just don't like to get into the concept of. It's not like it's a great question, but at the same time, I just don't buy into. You got this team's number, but you don't have that team's number, and you just roll around. It's one of those things. Maybe because I've done this so long, there's years that coming out where it seems like beating a certain program all the time, and all of a sudden that program is beating you all the time. So I just really don't buy into the theory year to year. Certain programs have other certain programs. I'm not making that statement. That statement's exclusive, but you look at a program that's put themselves in a place where they're dominating by everybody year in, year out. I'm just talking about the rest of us in the league, which is kind of goes with some years. This was an individual game, and our players did not do what we asked our players to execute. And it's really that simple. And Maddie had a great now, she always does. All of our systems always do. And I'm missing practice right now. I think our team is missing practice right now. I think the defeat has got. First of all, you always want to make sure that the victory. And coaches just talk about the players when they lose. Don't give credit to the opponents. When you miss shots, I believe you miss shots because they made you miss shots. I don't believe we just have to look for this today. All right. At the same time, we've hit the same type of shots on the same play. So when you shoot and miss shots like we missed tonight, and missed against them, then you have to pick it out. We just haven't been able to get any real good practice because of the COVID situation. So I mean, I just really wish more than worried about Creighton coming to town. I just wish we had more time fix some of the things that need to be fixed.
Jim Niendorf from We Are DePaul.
Coach, given the insight that you have with Marquette, do you take any positives from this game heading into that game?
And what we do, and I'm telling you what I just told our players. We teach our players that at DePaul, if you come to DePaul, we're not going to teach you how to lose. It's our task, coach, to teach our players how to handle defeat, which is handling defeat and translating defeat into positive functioning going forward as jobs. At the same time, we're not going to teach our team how to lose. So, I just think it's very important that each of us, all the coaches, players, look themselves in the eye, spend 10 minutes after they look in the mirror and just say, what? I could have those 2 hours back today. What would we have done differently? Some conclusion is what you would have done differently. When you're a competitor, never leave when you got beat. That never leaves. It doesn't go on. We can go right now and look at the season and they were still not. It's going to stick. It should stick in the competitor. That on February 23, that's what competitors do. So it's never going to leave. We got beat today. But you have to look in the mirror and say to yourself, what would I do differently? I think this is the most important time for players and coaches to be great teammates. It's easy to be a great teammate when you're on a 10-game win or you win by 25. But how do you show yourself to be a great teammate when you have a tough game? So we have to look in the mirror, figure out what we would do differently. God were to give us something to do again, and then how to fix it, be better tomorrow. Whether we as a staff, whether we're going to practice tomorrow, be totally off tomorrow, watch the game tomorrow. We don't yet. We're going to be off tomorrow, off Thursday. But given the way we did it, I'm not sure we'll be off tomorrow. We do have to get one day a week, and Thursday, them off again tomorrow, or one or the other. So we'll sit down and figure that out. Back to your specific question about Marquette, and we try to don't spend more than you. Then you really do. This is going to stick. Never leave you. We have to turn up and say, what can we do to be our best selves come Wednesday night against the Marquette team? As we fight to battle our way into the NCAA tournament.
Hey, media, we're having a little problems with the audio. It's kind of sketchy. Let's try this. Everybody mute yourself until you ask your question. Ask your question, then mute yourself again. Let's see if that helps clear up a little of the audio, okay?
Were you able to hear all that?
We did. It breaks up here and there, Doug, so we're trying to figure out a way to get that fixed. Let's try, Ernesto Hernandez, do you have a follow-up question for Coach Bruno?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. John Robleski, do you have a follow-up question for Coach Bruno?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Coach.
And then finally, Jim Niendorf, have you got a follow-up question for Coach Bruno?
No, I don't. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody, for covering women's hoops. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, going forward, media, let's try that. Let's try, and I'll do the same thing. As soon as you ask your question and you're done talking, let's mute ourselves. Let's see if that helps improve the